Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a match between Haz and Scarlett here on Acropolis, the latter edition from Nation Wars 2019. Top left-hand corner is the blue Protoss player from Chinese Taipei. It is Haz, otherwise known as Taiwan. And in the bottom right, it is the Canadian Zerg player Scarlett. Alright, she is sporting the color red. Haz is blue. Red versus blue. Standard for professional tournaments in StarCraft 2. Hit that like button if you're excited for Scarlett. She always brings a lot of views, I can tell you that much. Oh man, cannot wait for the ZVP. Haz is incredibly cheesy, but this is a gateway going up in his natural base. 1687 here from Scarlett, probe scouting, but you never know with Haz. He could throw down a pylon to kind of make Scarlett think he is cheesing because no professional Zerg player drone scouts. Ah, Gateway Forge here. Before Nexus. Oh, hold on a second. Is this going to be cheese from Haz? Where is your probe? Where did it go? You didn't send it home, I can tell you that much. What? Where is it? I don't see it on the... Okay, here it is. It was playing the generate minerals game, gathering minerals game here. So he's going to try this. Look at that. 1, 2, oh my gosh, 3 and 4. That's the full wall, and it's a lot of dedication to throw down 4 pylons this early. But there's the immediate cancel on the hatch from Scarlett. Haz cancels 3 of his pylons and says, "Job well done." Is that what this is? What is this? That's a cannon. I love Haz so much. She's so dang cheesy. Scarlett, immediate Roach Warren. Second gas came up a while ago. Recognizing the threat here, Lings are going to help him against what Haz has in store here. Haz is getting a natural base while he's at it. Oh, this is so dang good. Scarlett trying to take a third hatch of her own. Take a natural at her third, but Haz is already getting this up. This is insane. Haz is going for the mind tricks here. I don't think he's going to do anything else. He might try to throw up a pylon on the high ground here just for the lulz, but basically he forced Scarlett into a Roach Ravager style response here when I don't think she needs it. I think she's putting a lot of money into gas, or a lot of drones into gas here when she doesn't need that. This should be workers instead. It's already 23 to 20 workers. Haz is going to have a second Nexus up here before Scarlett's natural at the third location comes up. This is nuts. Haz is going second level 4D chests right now. Trying to make Scarlett think this is something that she really needs to commit to, but honestly, just had to get out a bunch of Lings. Just a bunch of Lings to handle that cannon. A couple of Roaches may be enough here. Let's see how much she commits to this. I don't think she's going to commit very much. She seems to have figured out what's going on. She doesn't see any other things happening. There is an Adept coming into this base up here, but that really shouldn't be a problem. I have a hard time knowing what to call this. Is it the third base? Well, I mean, it's the second base at the third base location. Another pylon coming up from Haz, just to remember that I was here. And yeah, 2 Ravagers really shouldn't be much of a problem whatsoever. Adept does not want to go in there with 2 Ravagers already out. That's insane. And it's an Oracle on the way from Haz. So Oracle follow up because why not at this stage? Oracle's name is Bootstrap Jack. Due to the inefficiency of the Oracle in recent years, the Nezarene developed the Bootstrap program. As these Adepts try to get some stuff done, but they're forced to recall out of there as there's a Roach and a Queen. A program which simulated millions of Oracle encounters against the Dark Lord Serral. The most successful of these encounters would be enriched into an Oracle AI to do battle in reality. Let's hope that all that computing power was not put to waste. Beautiful. And a Void Ray. Oh, hang on. Did you cancel the Oracle and make a Void Ray? Nope, Oracle here. Somewhere. There you are. There you are, Bootstrap Jack. I like it. I like the idea of creating an AI to figure out how to make it more efficient against Zerg. Simulating millions of Oracle encounters against the Dark Lord Serral. I like that a lot. That's a good Oracle name. If you want to do an Oracle name... Oh, hold on a second. Just put it in the comments. Label it as an Oracle name, and a backstory if you want, and I'll put it into my notepad. Oh, here is a Nidus Worm. Holy smoke, Scarlett. 2 base, Roach Ravager on 22 workers. Bringing the Queens along. Bringing the Ravagers along. There's a Void Ray, but there's only 1 Void Ray, man. I don't know about this. There's cannons. There are shield batteries present. This is why I cast Haz versus Scarlett is for situations like this. This is so dang good. Other Nidus comes up. to spread the creep up this way so the queens are more mobile. I'm loving this. Taking down the forge would be a nice pickup. I mean, not that Haz is working on upgrades, but still not too bad. The anti-air from the queens is nuts. Making 2 more queens back home is Scarlett. This is all in from the Zerg player. Oh, Oracle goes down. Bootstrap Jack is dead. Is Scarlett going to do this? Oh, shield batteries with Void Rays is pretty friggin' good. I have to admit, the shield batteries seem fairly drained, though. Queens transfusing each other. The Void Rays have to retreat. Actually using some of that shield battery on the other side here. Adept does get 4 drone kills in the meantime, dropping Scarlett down to 18, worker to 27. Scarlett needs to win this thing, and she needs to win this thing now. She takes down one of the cannons, or maybe the pylon. Maybe that was a pylon in the middle. I think it was one of the cannons. But yeah, Haz defending with Void Rays pretty much. The queen count is sort of insane, though. Another shield battery here. 2 more shield batteries coming in. The defensive capabilities of shield batteries and the offensive capabilities are so good, you guys. They're insanely good right now. Both players are just macroing to their, not to their heart's content, but it's basically just trying to make as much army as they can. A lot of queens in production from Scarlett, obviously. Ravagers out of the wounded roaches. Cybernetics core down would be pretty nice, but pretty much all Haz is using right now is his Stargate. He's going mass Void Ray against these queens. Does not seem like a great idea, but he definitely still could win this thing. Is there more? The heck is killing more drones? Was there another Adept over here? Something was happening. I don't know what's going on. Haz is trying to harass on the other side. Cannon's getting taken down by Corrosive Biles. Shield Battery, such a good unit. Queens stabbing away on those Void Rays, draining all the energy of the shield batteries as possible. Another cannon down here. Void Rays not using prismatic alignment because there's no reason to. Nothing here is armored except for that single roach. Corrosive Bile down. Shield Battery down. All right. Scarlett doing this. I cannot believe this game right now. It is 27 to 23 workers. 2 base to 2 base is bad for Scarlett, but I like the queen count against the Void Rays. That's so good. And there are some Phoenix in production, maybe to lift some of these queens, but these buildings are getting whittled down. Another shield battery out. There are still 6 here for Haz, so don't worry about him too much if you're a Protoss fan at this moment. But this is why we cast these games. Haz versus Scarlett. Another cannon down. At some point, I think you just might be able to go in here. Honestly, if there are no cannons firing at you, I love this. Transfuses on point. There is the lift. There's the Corrosive Bile trying to go down onto these Void Rays and kill them. The Phoenix doing a ton of work here, but the queen count, I think, is just too high. There are not enough Phoenix to lift all of these queens. The shield batteries playing exceptionally huge roles as they have this entire engagement right now. The transfuses really good for the queens. More queens in production all the time. Haz's production has stopped. There's nothing in production for him right now. He's microing his face off, and that's it. Good game. Scarlett does win it. Does win the fake out with the forward pylon and the cannon. Has it turned around on him with the Nidus play and the queens, the roaches, the ravagers. The Ravager Corrosive Bile play was so good. The queen count was through the roof. 12 of those on the ground. Ended up losing 0 queens. Scarlett protects her queens exceptionally well. All she loses that entire game are 6 drones and an Overlord. That's insanity. 4,800 resources lost to 400 resources lost there. Haz gets reverse cheesed and killed with it. What a nutso game. That was amazing. And that's only game 1 of our sneaky twofer as well. We have another game here between Scarlett and Nice, another Taiwanese player. So stick around for that. If you're like, why is the video so long if this is an 8-minute ZVP? That is your answer. It's because we have more coming, but I can't. I am gushing so hard about this. Look at this. 5 Void Rays down, 3 Phoenix, Unoracle. All these buildings died to Corrosive Biles mostly. And Scarlett, just the perfect response. Recognizing that Haz is doing something shenanigan-y. Wasted a lot of resources early on these 4 pylons, even though he canceled 3 of them. And the cannon that didn't really do much of anything. Haz was behind. He really was. He broke up a little bit too much. He went for the expansion. Scarlett never did. So 2-basing Zerg against a 2-basing Protoss that they're macroing is definitely in favor of the Protoss. But in the situation where it's a 2-basing attack for the Zerg player, it's harder to hold if you're the Protoss. A little bit greedy there Haz behind his, again, fake out cheese attempt. And it paid off for Scarlett. Amazing, amazing stuff. All right, well, that's enough about this game, I think. So good. So good. But let's go to game 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to our Sneaky Twofer featuring Scarlett from Nation Wars 2019. It's going to be her facing off another Protoss. It's going to be Bud Always. I've cast him in an Africa world, and I'm super impressed by him. He's a very young player. I want to see how he stacks up against Scarlett in a PvZ. So here we are on Winter's Gate. Bottom right-hand corner, it is Bud Always. And in the top left-hand corner, it is Scarlett. She's red, and Bud Always is blue. All right, man. Let's see what Bud Always has. He has a very interesting carrier rush strategy against Zerg. And I think he took down an important player in one of our Africa worlds. I can't remember who it was. If you want to watch me cast... Oh, there's like a 16 pool here out of Scarlett. Man, he's going to see, or she's going to see how Bud Always can handle early lings at his front door. But again, if you want to see me cast live at StarCraft 2 with players like these, head over to africatv.com/laughingames. LAUGHNGAMEZ, Laughin' Games, to see me casting with Laughin' Games, right? It's his channel, and he organizes Africa Worlds for Africa streaming services. And man, there are so many good players that come through there, I can tell you that much. Pool pops. And if you want to know when they are, it's basically every 2 weeks. Sometimes not on that schedule, but follow me at twitter.com/Falcon Paladin. I retweet every single time Africa announces another Africa world. And you can mark your calendars. And I think the next one is going to be pretty darn early US time. So that's a pretty good time for Europe, if I understand my time zones correctly. Probe Scout correctly scouts that there are 6 lings coming their way, coming through the slow zones. And what's the response here? Man, this is a really wide place to wall off. Maybe another gateway just for good measure. There is an adept coming in. You want to hold this with one adept? I guess it is just slow lings. I don't know how much you're worried about slow lings, to be honest. Okay, probe comes in. Oh, gets the Stargate up. But that's not enough of a wall. Oh, crap. There are lings here. I don't know that Bud Always took this seriously. He should not have gone for that early expansion once he saw the quick pool. So lings are fighting, and an adept is fighting here too. So the adept is going to help a lot in doing damage versus these lings. The probes are stacking up. Only 2 probes have died. And you know, Bud Always may have made the right choice here. 3 probes down, but still, that's it. All the Zerglings are dead. The expansion is done for Scarlett about the same time the Zerg players is, and Bud Always is ahead. After that, 3 lings down is 3 probes down is definitely not worth it for that early pool, which put her behind economically. Normally, you'd want a 3rd base coming up at this point, but Scarlett's not quite ready to go there yet. Just because of that early pool, it slowed everything down. Amazing, interesting opening here that Bud Always ended up scouting and preparing for fairly well. Again, everything got scouted on his side of the map, but I guess that's only fair since Scarlett got scouted initially. So 2 adepts trying to get in here, and you know, 2 queens, yeah, we're just trying to force lings, right? Scarlett wants to drone her face off after losing those early lings and after not getting much damage done, so forcing more lings out is always nice. Scarlett would rather get into the mid game making no Zerglings, right, after the 6 that she lost early, but she was forced into it because of the adepts. Now, a 3rd base would be fantastic from Scarlett, unless she's doing what she did in the last game, which was a bunch of roaches and ravagers, but nah, man, Spore Crawler, recognizing the threat that an Oracle could be here, but it looks like it's a Phoenix, at least initially. Could be an Oracle follow-up. And just extra walling off here in case there are a ton of lings coming in. Scarlett's 3rd base is at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, which is too late. It is too late against this 1-gate expand that Bud Always tossed up. And again, lost a couple probes, but still at 32 probes at this stage. Double thumping them as fast as he can. There is a Phoenix in production from Bud Always, and another one already out on the map trying to kill Overlords, but Queen Protection seemed to be enough. So yeah, Scarlett is now taking her gas at around 35 workers, not going for a 3rd or a 4th extractor yet, which indicates to me not planning on going for anything too crazy, nothing too aggressive. Oh no, there we go, actually. Taking that 3rd extractor. So this could be Hydralisks, it could just be Roach Ravager coming on in against Bud Always. It feels pretty aggressive. Usually players wait until about 45 workers or so to get this, but she's been droning pretty hard. I guess she is closer to 40 than I thought she was a second ago. So is this Mass Phoenix? We've seen Mass Phoenix attempted against Zergs before. It doesn't seem to work super well. A lot of players will just go Roach. A lot of players will go a ton of Hydras, try to keep that Hydra ball alive until it's big enough to challenge the Phoenix, which is entirely possible. But it's a robotics facility follow-up out of Bud Always. Let's see what he does with it. Immortals like the Immortal play here, although I'm not sure there's anything really for them to kill. There is a Roach Warren. Immortals trade pretty well against queens, even though queens aren't armored specifically. They just hit pretty hard. They hit from a distance, and if you do that against a queen, you're going to kill it pretty well. So immortal production has begun. I'm loving that. It's 42 to 44 workers now, but always is taking the lead in the economy. Lair on the way from Scarlett, really working hard off these 3 extractors and trying to drone up a little bit too with 4 drones in production. Meanwhile, what are you doing, Bud Always? What is this going to be? Gateway, 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 and a warp prism here. Still no sign of a third at 5.5 minutes, and he's okay to do so because Scarlett's third was so late. So let's see what happens. Let's see what we get when it comes down to a third base timing. I mean, the Zerglings are annoying, right? You don't want to move out and try to establish a third base when there are that many Lings out on the map if you don't have a way to kill them. And we really don't. We don't have an Oracle. The Phoenix could probably take care of them, but they want to be over here harassing. They don't want to be defending at all. Another Spore. I mean, recognizing the threat of as many Phoenix as there are, you do want a couple Spores per base, or a bunch of Queens at the least. Scarlett pulling ahead, man. It's 57 to 44 workers, 3 base versus this 2 basing Protoss. There are enough units here. I mean, either it's an expansion or an attack here from Bud Always. He needs to commit, and he is throwing down additional gateways with the Warp Prism for additional warp-ins at the front. It's not going to be charge loss as he doesn't have a Twilight Council, but it is going to be a bunch of Oracles, an Immortal here, a couple Adepts, a Zealot, and a bunch of Phoenix, with the ability to warp in additional units with the Warp Prism that is trailing with a second Immortal here. So this is a 2-base attack. This is Scarlett who's going to try to hold this in a very, very tense situation. Making some Roaches, making some Ravagers, which are going to be the key ingredient to her success here. Spore Crawler coming at the front. I like that. Getting free shots against the Phoenix and against the Warp Prism, but is he force fielding over a little? What a weird, chaotic force field pattern here. Corrosive Bile is actually being used to remove those. Not something you see every day. Got a warp of Zealots and so many Sentries right now. The problem is this used to work against Zerg until they got the Ravager, and then the Sentries kind of stopped being as effective here. I feel like Scarlett has this held. It's 74 to 54 total army supply, but Always is not taking a third behind this. The Queens are getting focused down. Corrosive Bile's hitting, which is not something you want to see if you're a Protoss player. Never get hit by a Corrosive Bile. Dodging as well as he can. Sentries at the front trying to do damage, but no. Scarlett marching on in. Doesn't even necessarily have a huge advantage, I don't feel like, but oh no, Warp Prism down. Immortal alone, and Scarlett wins that game too. So Scarlett goes 2-0 here against her 2 Taiwanese Protoss competitors. Gets the win very well in about 8 minutes in each game. And both times it wasn't necessarily her fault. The game was so short. But Always going for the 2-base timing attack with Sentries and Immortals. And this can work. We've seen this work before, but only if the Zerg player doesn't make Ravagers and doesn't recognize what it is in time to make Ravagers. She had the Roach Warren. She wasn't really making anything until she knew she needed to. And then it was Roaches, and then it was Ravagers. Creep spread was enough to where she wasn't fighting directly on top of her 3rd base, which was really important. The forward Spore was really good against those Phoenix. And the Warp Prism, I'm not sure if the Warp Prism took any hits from it or not, but it seemed problematic. So at the end of the day, 4,000 to 3,000 resources lost, but Always lost a ton more. That one Immortal died. The second one was going to die. 15 Roaches died because there were Immortals. And but the important thing here is only 2 Ravagers died, only 3 Queens went down, and no drones were killed during that attack. But Always had no expansion ready to go, and as a result, he was toast. So I like it. I like this. Good plays from Scarlett, defending the 2-base all-in, defending the cheese feint, and then counter-cheesing Has to go 2-0 in the sneaky 2 for just beautiful, beautiful Zerg play here out of Scarlett. I know that she doesn't make it to the final 16s of WCS anymore, or final 8s or final 4s, but she's still capable of doing this kind of stuff. I'd like to see 2020 be a big year for her. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But as for me, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a sneaky 2 for Scarlett. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.